So we're going to begin the glossary, which is really in a way, it's a summary of the book with the key concepts presented in alphabetical order. So it may be that this is a useful way of, in a way, as I say, summarizing the whole book through the main ideas that are described briefly in alphabetical order in the book. Okay. So the next word is authority. Authority, as I use the term throughout the book, refers to the coloring of aboveness which the false self attributes to some higher other, and which it always places itself underneath. In the formation of the false self cast onto us coercively by others in the course of our conditioning, we find ourselves enacting ourselves ungroundedly at the surface of our being, and so project out a higher authority that gives the false self a kind of pseudo-anchorage or basis, which the false self then internalizes so that it can feel real rather than intolerably ungrounded or floating. So this is a tricky idea, but if I'm wanting to meet other people, I'm born into the world with my eyes full and my presence here, as is true of young children, of infants, and then I encounter others who kind of throw me into a self, and a little early Peter. Well, that self that's kind of on the outside of me, that's complying with the way the other sees me, it sort of it lacks any ground. It's like just floating on the outside. So how does it anchor itself? It projects out someone, a higher up, who is instructing me to be this way, and therefore makes the way that I am seem real to me. Even though it doesn't make it seem real in a real sense, but I can feel like this is who I am in relationship to the authority that creates me. So that's why, if we take an authoritarian family with an authoritarian father, okay, the father is projected as above the child. The child is a bit in awe of the father that is higher up on a ladder almost, an imaginary aboveness. That's what I mean by aboveness. It's feeling that someone is above you and that you're underneath them. And a key problem in the whole culture is the sense of underneathness that people feel as they live out their little lives. Not that their lives are really little, but that people, when they're withdrawn into themselves, feel like they're just performing their way through a world of higher-ups looking down on them. So we currently have a president, so-called Donald Trump, whose whole way of maintaining power is based on enacting the dominant authority that people are supposed to be underneath. And if you watch his rallies, there's a thrill of underneath this master, this man who's so confident, who just says whatever he feels, and he's the boss. And it's falsely reassuring to people who inside long for recognition, long to be seen for who they really are, but can't be. So they participate in this collective imaginary experience of community under an authority that is validating, making America great again, making the image full for them. The general point in the book, we'll get to it again when I get to the H's, of hierarchy is the construction of a top-down ordering in the imagination, in which one imagines one is underneath others who gaze assertively down at you in a way that defines and fixes your false self as if it were real.